Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. I'm your host, Jimmy Good, and joining me this week is the most special guest ever, my mom, Laurie. Laurie, how you doing?
I am doing fine. I am.
Fine.
I'm just a little nervous.
That's okay.
Because I don't know what he's going to ask.
Oh, I have hard-hitting questions. The hardest-hitting questions ever. But because it's a special week and she's a very special guest, my favorite person on the planet, my hero, we've talked about her before. But we're going to get questions from you because you guys are the ones that want to know more about her and where I come from. So this is like the lady
I
to
made
ask.
him.
She did.
I made him.
Let's start off with one that's it's a softball. This is a question from Chris. This is on Twitter. He asks, how does it feel being the mother to a streaming icon? She laughs because she knows it's not true.
Well, he is an icon to many. It's humbling in a way because I think he's so talented. I've got a necklace on that says Mama Bear, and that's kind of how I am. But I think he's very talented, and I'm very proud of him. So yeah, it is nice. We have to keep the dogs quiet. I'm sure you've all heard them. And you've probably heard other stuff too. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, it's good.
Sure.
I'm proud of him.
Well, thank you. I'm not an icon yet, but one day. Okay, I keep saying that. This is my chrysalis. My cocoon. This little room. It's 8 by 10, I think. It's small. This is my life. Anywho, next question. What do you think of Final Fantasy VIII being the best game of all time? I'm supposed to ask you this because someone who loves this game, we just beat this game, and I knew you don't know anything about it, but I had to ask anyway.
I like the sound of it.
I
like the alliteration, Final Fantasy.
Yes, that's good. Yes.
So I think it's probably amazing.
Yeah, sure. Well, there you go. You heard it from her. Would you say 8's better than 7?
Yes.
Okay. Uh-oh. No, that was a trick.
Oh, was that a trick?
People love 7. People don't like 8.
7. It's a 7.
No, so you're saying 7 is better than 8.
No.
The game Final Fantasy 7.
I don't know.
This is going perfectly. This one comes in. I knew this guy from college, Ryan, but under layman's terms, he says, Fremont, was there ever a game or console you got for Jimmy that you thought he wouldn't like? Or was there a game or console that you thought Jimmy would love, but he didn't?
Oh boy, this goes way, way back. No, everything I got for him, he would just get right on and love. So, I don't know, what was your favorite one from way back in time?
Well, I remember that story I've told to people, and I think it's true, where it's like you went in the store with Grandma, and she saw Zelda.
Yes.
And she said, Zelda's a pretty name, and we don't know what console it was for. Maybe N64?
She just bought it.
But no, she didn't buy it, because you said don't. I thought you told her not to get it.
But we got it eventually.
Did you? I don't think we did.
Oh, it's here somewhere.
Really?
Yeah.
No way. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Is Zelda?
I think so.
Weird. I wonder what that was for.
I don't know.
But she found it, right?
She did.
Yeah. Well, you got me the N64 with Katie, because for people who don't know, people should know, but I have a twin sister. So we shared our birthdays, but that was kind of one of our birthday presents, was N64. And Super Mario 64, and I asked desperately for Super Smash Brothers, but I still got Super Mario.
Because it probably said super.
and also it was probably bundled with it, so you didn't know.
Oh, I did, yeah.
You didn't know any better.
I didn't.
Do you remember me trying to teach you Super Smash Brothers Brawl? Do you remember the character you played as? He's blue, and he's a hedgehog. Sonic. Remember? Because you liked the B button because it would just go right. It would just auto attack.
That was a long time ago.
That was a little while ago. Yeah, it's right here.
We just got back from a bike ride, by the way. So if we I'm not sweating because I'm nervous. It's like 110.
Nervous, no.
Oh no, I'm not nervous.
Yeah. Also, I turn off the air conditioner, so it's gonna be. This is how I do the show. This is when I come out of here and you're like, "What happened?" And I'm like sweltering.
We might have to turn the air on.
This is what the people then they hear the rumble. And then it's just like
better picking me up off the floor.
Just scoop you up. But was there anything you got me I didn't like that you can think of?
Probably clothing.
No, like like console wise, or a game.
No.
No?
You just gobbled up everything.
Yeah, I was lucky. I liked those things, and it was probably easier than having me go out for sports. Cheaper, maybe. I wasn't like, I want to go out for football.
You just didn't have any interest, so...
Yeah, I didn't care.
I...
Still don't.
Supported your interests.
Yeah, and look where it's gotten me. 5 feet down over here.
I know.
That's okay.
He lives in the maids' quarters.
I do. Oh, here we go. Yeah, they didn't know that. Now they do. That's fine. We can edit it out. I'll probably just leave it in. It's fine. Yeah, so technically this is add-on to the house that I live in, and it was the maid's quarters, so it is very small. Sometimes I feel like the butler. I like to make a lot of Carson-based jokes from Downton Abbey.
Yes, he does.
Makes me feel better about my lot in life. But I'm lucky. You give me much. You do. I appreciate it.
Well, I love you a lot.
I love you. You're my favorite. That wasn't a hard question. I was trying to think. I thought there was something that you might have gotten me that I wasn't super keen on, but I can't remember what it was. I remember getting a game from, I think Grandma's, called City of Heroes on PC when I was younger, but I didn't understand how things worked back then. So we had computers, but it wasn't strong enough to do that or play that game, and I could never play City of Heroes. And I was always like, ugh.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Could you now?
I could now. I actually no, probably not, because I think the servers are shut down. That was a game that was dependent on other things being running, and they shut them down. But there's no money in it, you know. This one, we got a couple in here from Jalen.
Jalen.
He's a new friend. He's a patron. Thank you. I think actually everybody I've talked about so far has been a patron. Thank you guys so much. Don't need to do that, but I appreciate it. He says he's got a couple of questions for Mother Good, which not technically, but still
That's
funny.
okay.
I like it. Was Jimmy naturally interested in the sci-fi fantasy genre, or was it more something that he got into because that's what you were into?
Ooh, that's such a good question. My background is in literacy education, so my night job was a professor. So I did children's literature and literacy stuff. So I remember getting the very first copy of Harry Potter, the original book. And the reason I was at a conference, and the speaker was saying, she held up the book and she said, this is in litigation through Scholastic because they're trying to sell it in the U.S., and the author in England, and she kind of rolled her eyes, doesn't want them to sell it yet. And so she said, so it'll be on the back table. And I rudely, when it went back there, went and picked it up and thought, I'm going to read this. So I brought it home, and I didn't get to read it right away because all 4 of my kids read it before I did, and they couldn't put it down. I thought, we got something here. And from there, when they were little, I would get them up early.
Yep.
Professor here. And I'd put them on the couch, and I'd read, we did Chronicles of Narnia. We did Lord of the Rings.
Did we do Lord of the Rings?
We started. It was not for a second grader at 7 a.m, probably not the best choice. Yeah. But and so I think that you kind of got your love from that.
Osmosis.
Osmosis. I love it. I had in college, in my undergrad years, I had a big map of Middle Earth on my wall in my college dorm, and people would say, what is? They thought I was something else. They didn't know what, but they'd ask what it was, and I'd bring out the books. And in those days, you had the books, and in the trilogy, and you open the back cover, and a big map would fold out so that you could read the book and you could see where they were at, and it was so amazing. So I had this big map on my wall, and I'd show them the book, and they'd kind of like, oh, well, that's interesting. So
did you buy those books yourself?
Mm-hmm.
How did you find them?
Oh, probably not online.
Yeah, let's say no.
Probably, I suppose, in a Barnes & Noble or something. Whatever we had back then in the 70s.
Early 70s.
Yeah, early 70s.
This is when those books started to take off more so.
Yeah.
I think, because they were popular right away.
Cult it started, I think.
Yeah.
So I belonged to a cult.
And no. Did. But then you saw, and then 2001, 2002, 2003, we went and saw the movies in theaters together, which I think had dwindling results, because I feel like the first 2 we went to with like a lot of people, and then the third movie, I think we just saw the 2 of us.
Yeah.
Which was it? Did it translate it well, do you think, the movies?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
I do.
Yeah. They're perfect. I mean, they're amazing. I love them so much. And they're my favorites. You're fine. It's good. You're good. You're doing great. Okay. Isn't she doing great? She's in the hot seat. This is what happens if you're ever a guest on my show. Katie was on here. She was like, it's like the middle of winter. Gosh. You're fine. This is good. This is just, you just control your body. I'm wearing a black shirt too. I was out in the sun. I'm wearing my Mando shirt. This is a gift from Joe and Haley. Thanks, guys. They don't watch this, but I love this shirt. Anywho, next question from J-Lo. We're moving on. I was going to say, the other thing he asked as kind of an add-on to that, so you kind of pointed me in that direction. Do I think Jimmy would have inevitably ended up liking that genre on his own anyway?
Yes, definitely. I think the right side of his brain, although he has his degree in science on the left side, but the right side of his brain, that creative part, would have driven him in that direction. Definitely.
Right. I'm trying to be more right-brained nowadays. Trying to be right-brained. That was great.
That's my right hand.
I was like, I thought you were trying to punch me.
My brain, however, is all right. There's nothing left.
No, that's not true at all.
No?
That's you. Yeah. This is a very optimistic question, and I love that Jalen asked this. He says, if Jimmy's future spouse isn't into the nerd culture at all, do you think that the hypothetical relationship would work out?
Yes.
Oh, why is that?
Because you would be understanding,
I try.
and you would be a mentor to that future mother of my grandchildren.
Oh my gosh. I can see right where this is going.
Yeah. And
genetics must be passed on.
Just kidding. But I think whoever you find will be very lucky, and you will make them happy, whatever that translates into.
I'll get them.
Yeah.
I think to some degree they'd have to have something, and I think everything nowadays is a little I don't know, it's not, I think being nerdy isn't as weird as it used to be. I think it's just very much more commonplace. So
yeah.
And I feel like if I tried to, especially like, I feel like there's so many people who love just like Harry Potter. They don't love Lord of the Rings, but they love Harry Potter. There's crossover there. It's not going to be like, well, how dare you, like
Tolkien and C.S. Lewis were good friends.
Yes, they were, and they got sick of stuff because they didn't have the stories they wanted.
Yeah.
So they just learned a lot. And then Tolkien was more based on World War One, but he had some of a religious background because he was pretty religious. Yeah. But then C.S. Lewis was like basically trying to rewrite the Bible. not to that extent, but like he was very
with different characters.
With different characters, yes. But I loved it because Aslan, that's a god I loved because he was a super lion and he'll come kill people if you want. He just come kill an ice witch. He just rips into her. That's a children's film. And Santa Claus gives them weapons. That's all I'm trying to say. C.S. Lewis had a great imagination. But so did Tolkien. Tolkien or Tolkien? How do you say it?
I say Tolkien.
Tolkien? I like Tolkien too. That's what I'm talking about. That's a podcast I heard about. That's great. Anyway, thank you for that, my inevitable wife. Hopefully she ever watches this. She'll be like, oh, okay. Yeah. They understand. But yeah, I would try to be understanding. She'd have to like something.
Oh.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be interested in her.
Yeah. I don't know.
If she were just like, oh.
I'm looking for an equal.
Pish posh.
Jalen's last question is this. What game/movie was Jimmy the most excited for as a kid? Like to the point where it drove you crazy? That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Was there anything?
I have to say, honestly, I don't know. Because by day, I was a elementary teacher.
Yep.
By night, a college professor. I taught 4 nights a week. And my parents lived next door in this adorable little house, and they helped me, as a single parent, they helped me raise those kids.
Yeah.
And so they were just such good kids that it never drove me crazy because I was always teaching or correcting papers or doing something.
Maybe it was the N64 stuff. Maybe
yeah.
that, because Katie was in on that too.
Yeah.
Or Pokemon or something.
Yeah, because I'd like call them to dinner and nobody'd come.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh. Wait, so you're sitting at the table alone in the dining room.
I'd have it all set.
And no one would show up?
No, because you'd be...
But then we'd come.
You'd come.
Okay, I was like, we just sit there alone and just...
No, I couldn't. I couldn't penetrate the game aura.
There's a wall there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
To quote Emperor's New Groove. Okay, great questions. That was kind of hard hitting. I thought that was a little.
That's very good.
That was very good, Jalen. Thank you.
I like you, Jalen.
Jalen's good people. So this person, you might know her. She's your daughter, Katie. Do you know Katie?
Maybe.
Of all your children, where does she rank? She's watching this, right? She's gonna watch this and she's gonna. Anyway, she's just silence. Okay. Anyway, these are some questions from Katie.
Okay.
I'm not gonna put you on the spot.
Did she ask that?
No, she didn't. No, she did not.
Okay.
She says, "What was your favorite game growing up?" And I think that can be any game. I'm not gonna keep you to video games because you grew up in the 50s and early 60s.
Did. My favorite game growing up was, and my dad had the Dairy Queen in town, so He closed it in October, and he'd open it up again around Easter. So all winter, he was just our playmate. He'd take us skating. He'd do all this stuff. And we had one of those old hockey games with the rods. And so the game was about like that big. And we had the players, and you could twist them and turn them and try to get the puck in the net. It's really like 60s. And we would play tournaments of that. We just loved it. So that was probably...
Hockey.
My hockey, yeah.
Yeah, we used to have one of those, but it was a little more updated.
It was.
Plastic.
Yeah.
Not foosball. People might be thinking it's foosball.
Kind of like foosball.
But you could like move your players up and down in a line and then switch slash.
And they had like little slits in the game, so one player could go a certain area and you could pass it back and forth. It was pretty cool.
So hockey game.
Hockey game.
Game.
Imagine that in Minnesota.
Yeah, I know. And now, what is your favorite game? I think I know this one.
I really hate to admit this.
It's technically a video game.
Is it?
Yeah.
Candy Crush.
Candy Crush. How many levels have you played?
I don't even know. I've stopped.
She's
counting.
over 1,500.
Oh yeah, in the 2000s.
Oh, we're in the 2000s. Okay, well,
I think. Yeah.
And you also play Words with Friends.
Yeah.
Or Scrabble. Is it Scrabble or Words with Friends?
Words with Friends.
I swear some of your friends cheat.
I don't.
I know you don't,
cheat,
but some of those people are like, I don't even. They're
up
making up words.
Yeah,
it's
and
ridiculous.
I think I've heard most words.
I've heard most words.
I've heard most words, and I don't know that one.
So that's your favorite one. You liked playing Brain Age for a bit.
Yeah, I did.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Which one did you like the most in that with the little pill game?
Yeah, yeah. And you know, one of my very all-time favorite games is cribbage.
Oh, there you go.
When I taught second grade at out in Minnesota, there was a senior citizen that came. His name was Dave, and he tried to work in certain classrooms, but he was kind of a little bit of a dictator.
Oh.
And so the teachers would say, we just can't have him in here. He is disruptive. So they came to me, and I thought, what can I do? Because he wanted to volunteer, and he wanted to make the world a better place by helping kids. And I asked him if he played cribbage. Oh, yeah. So he taught at least 50% of my second grade class cribbage, and they got really good at it. What a great game for math skills.
Sure.
You know, I can tell you what equals 15 in a heartbeat. And so he found his niche, and they loved Mr. Dave. When Mr. Dave came, the kids would stand up and beg to go out and play cribbage. So he found a good place.
Sounds like more of a left brain activity.
Cribbage?
Math, right?
I
Wouldn't that fall into
suppose
there?
it is. It would be totally, yeah.
What can I say? I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Is Katie still there?
No, she... Katie is here. She's with us
Katie.
always.
Hi,
I mean, she's not watching right now,
Oh.
but in the future. Here's a good question for you. I know the answer to this. When did you start going to Walt Disney World?
My oldest best friend and I, when I think I was 19 and she was 20, we got on a Greyhound bus. And if you knew our parents, you would say, that you're lying. We got on a Greyhound bus. They had these rail passes or bus passes, and for a whole month you could go anywhere in the United States. So we got on a bus, went to Chicago. We were just so naive. Oh my gosh. And then we went down to Georgia, and then down to Florida, St. Augustine, and stayed on the beach for a while. And then we went to Disney World when it was just the Magic Kingdom, and they had e-tickets. So we got this little ticket book, and we could use, there were 2 e-tickets maybe, one
Sure.
or 2. And I think Pirates was an e-ticket ride maybe.
Sure, probably was.
Yeah, and not Space Mountain. What else was there? Space Mountain would have been there, yeah.
When did you go?
74?
I don't know if Space would have been there. I think it's 75.
What were some other e-tickets? Haunted Mansion was an e-ticket, I think. Yeah, so we probably did that. And yeah, we stayed off property because they had the Polynesian and they had the Contemporary, I think.
That's correct.
That was all. And then we came home.
All right. First question. You stayed on the beach of St. Augustine. What do you mean? Did you camp?
No,
Did you?
we found a hotel.
Okay. Do you remember the name of it?
I don't, but you stayed there with us once.
Oh, is that the one with the dolphins?
In the pool.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I had to go back there.
I have a terrible memory. I mean, like not in like a bad memory. It's like really good, but only for like hyper specific things. I hope to use it for acting one day. So January 15th, 1975 is when Space Mountain opened. So you were there just a little bit. You might have seen it up, but you might not have been on it.
Okay.
But that's okay. But anyway, so that was a long time ago. 1974. 3 years before Star Wars, for anybody who's keeping track at home, which is crazy.
Which I'm watching all of them right now.
Which we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get there. Okay, so Disney. So after that, when did you go back?
When you were 3.
That was the first time you went back. Amanda and Andrea didn't go at all. Really?
No.
I was 3. Was I worth it? I feel like I wasn't worth it.
Oh, it was. Jimmy and Katie were so darn cute, and I dressed him in identical outfits because back then I thought, if you lost one, I could just hold the other one up and say, I lost a kid with this outfit on.
That sounds like something if you did nowadays, people would think you're trying to steal 2 children.
That's right. But they were just great. We got this, they had strollers, these icky old metal strollers, and the seat would come down. They were terribly uncomfortable, I'm sure. One would sit this way and back to back, and you had a great time.
Well, we didn't have double wides. We did a single file.
Yeah.
Wow, because they banned double wides now, I believe.
Well, take people out.
We did it.
Taken out by one of those. What are they?
Scooters.
Scooter things once.
We have a lot of she could be on all the Disney duos. She could be the Disney trio. We have so many stories. So Disney, what is your favorite ride if you had to pick one or 3? I like to give top 3 just in case.
Well, I would say it depends on the time of day and the park.
Like a professional. Not professional. She answers the question with a statement like that.
Yes. Okay, if I had to take my top 3, one would be Splash. Love Splash. Especially at night.
Yeah, it's great.
In the heat.
What is it about Splash?
I don't know. I like the drops because they're safe enough. Even the last one. And I just love the little characters. They're so cute. And
do you know their names?
No. Oh, Brer Bear. I thought you meant like all the.
Yeah, no. What are the 3 main ones?
Oh, he always does this, and if I don't remember, he goes, "Come on."
You're doing great.
Brer Bear, Brer Rabbit, and
who's the bad guy? The main bad guy. What kind of animal is he?
Brer Fox.
Yeah, very good. It's very straightforward.
Yeah.
It's like Brer Frog and
Brer.
Lots of Brers.
Brer.
But anyway, so you love Splash Mountain.
Yeah.
That's one.
Soarin'. I love Soarin'.
Do you like Soarin' around the world or Soarin' over California, or do you have a preference?
I like Soarin' over California.
Why?
I like the smells better.
Yeah, the orange smells. Is that what it is?
I like the California one. And I felt like even though the technology is better now, if you're not right dead center, everything is tilted. And that bugs me.
It's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
I witnessed it. I've seen it.
But the original one was pretty straightforward, and I like that one.
Okay. That's 2.
That's true.
I know. So many to pick from.
I know.
So many to choose. Just what's in your heart. I think it can change. Who cares?
Yeah. Maybe Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, Space Ranger Spin. You like that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, in Disneyland, you can actually, they move, like, you don't have it nailed to the cart.
Really?
You can hold it and move it around. And they have a tiered system where it's like a circle, square, and a triangle. Triangles are the most points. Circles are the least.
Oh.
It's very tricky over in California. I maxed out the score once at Disney World. I have a picture of it. That's about all I can. That's the best thing I've done in my life. That's maxed out the score.
Did the ride go down?
No, it didn't.
Oh.
I don't think so.
That happened to me once, and I maxed.
And you're like,
so did everyone.
Yeah, and you're like, yes, we did. We're all galactic heroes. I think they might give you a sticker or something if you go tell them you got that.
Really?
I don't know how they. I had to check that. Katie also wants to know how many times you.
Katie, my daughter.
Yeah, Katie, your daughter, my twin sister, Catherine. How many times have you been there, roughly? No shame here.
Between 70 and 80, maybe?
Between 70 and 80 times. We were from Minnesota. We're going down to Florida. We drove how many times?
So we used to go like 3 times a year.
You say that, but I thought it was twice, and this is the most privileged sounding thing in the world. I thought we went, it was like, and you told me that it's more than this. I thought it was like Thanksgiving and spring break. Because
then sometimes we'd sneak one in like at the 4th of July or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't see, and that's what they have told me too, is that it wasn't as expensive, so we get the annual pass, which was cheaper than doing it twice, and then the hotels were not, like the beach club. We stay at the beach club a ton, but that's because it wasn't how it is today.
It wasn't. And then kind of early on, we met some people who worked there that would give us good deals.
Oh, really?
Like Sven could do that.
Oh, I could do deals?
Yeah.
Nice, Sven.
We picked up a young man at the German pavilion and adopted him.
Yeah, he became our friend, which I don't know if we talked about Sven. I think I've joked about him a few times on the show, but basically what happened was Sven was 17, 18-year-old kid who transferred over during the Disney kind of college program, exchange student stuff, and he worked at the German pavilion, and we were waiting to go into the Biergarten. And he said, we're kind of waiting, he's out front, and he said, all right, he handed a picture of Snow White to Katie and myself. He said, color this for me and bring it back to me. And we did that, and we're very good, loyal little children. So we did that and brought it back, and he said, I think this is the first time that anyone had ever brought the picture back. Like everybody else just kind of kept it.
His actual words were, will you color this for me? Meaning, just go ahead and color it. His English was a little dicey.
That's what it was.
Which is perfect now, but...
Yeah.
And so when they brought it back, he welled up, and I thought, I love him.
Yeah, I love Sven, and he's the type of guy that I don't talk to at all often, but it's like once every couple of years when I talk to him, it's just the same as it always has been. Yeah. There's no like passage of time. It's just like, hi.
He's been up here for Christmas, and he's been to Minnesota a lot, and then he moved back to Germany, and now he's in Austria, and we've been over to visit him.
Yeah. One day I'll go there, and if you ever see a vlog from Austria, that's why. If he's not in the video, he's behind the camera somewhere.
Oh, he'll be in the video.
I'd hope so, because I'd be like, Sven, we need to capture this. You're
so
amazing.
Entertaining.
He's hilarious. He's the funniest. He's the most German person you could ever make.
Yes.
Very German.
He even looks German.
Yeah.
And then his name is Sven.
Yeah,
and
but that's
his brother's name is Bjorn.
But Sven is more Swedish, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Either way. I love him. I love you, Sven. I know he's not watching, but I appreciate that you're watching. Yeah, those are from Katie. Just a few more here. She's not asking about the children thing, which is your favorite children. That's good. Oh my gosh, but she's asking this, and I know what she's going to answer because she's not going to pick. Who's your favorite, Ranger or Lily?
Oh, I can't choose.
You couldn't choose?
I love them both so much.
I'll choose Lily. I love Ranger so much. I don't know. There's something special about Lillers.
Yeah.
Even though I picked up Ranger when he was a pudgy little puppy.
They're both therapy dogs. Have you talked about that?
A little, maybe. But yeah, they're both therapy dogs.
And Lily and I, Lily in particular, and Ranger too, we would teach a course up at the hospital for people who were suffering from depression on a really high scale. And Lily she's got that empath personality, that soul, where she can sniff people out who need her. Ranger, not so much. He's like, I love you, and of course you. But Lily would come into a room and she'd work the crowd, and then she would sit with a person who I could tell, just from observing, was really needing to be loved.
Yeah.
And then I'd tell stories about some of the amazing things that the therapy dogs had done. And one of my favorite Lily stories was we were asked to go down to the surgical waiting. And because there was a police officer that had been in surgery, and because of HIPAA, we're not able to know why or what was going on, but there were already probably 50 people there, little kids and officers in uniform and plainclothesmen and senior citizens, and they were all in the hallway. Because the surgical waiting area was already filled with these people, and they were going to move them to the auditorium, and they thought maybe they could use a therapy dog. So Lily and I went down, and she was kind of working the crowd and kind of zigzagging across the hallway, and people were petting her, and there were a few tears, and it was unlike her because she just kind of sniffed for a moment, and then she'd go and go and go. And finally, she went to the door of this waiting area, and there was a young gal there, and she got right up, sweet girl, and she sat in front, and then she just kind of scooted up to the woman so that the woman had to squat down, And Lily just kind of leaned into her, and the woman just started to sob and put her arms around Lily. And Lily doesn't like that much, but she took it.
Well, she's better than Ranger. Ranger can't.
Ranger, you can't hug real well.
Yeah.
And somebody leaned over and said, "That's his wife." So Lily's really got that empath heart.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great.
We've got tons of stories about that.
Which those stories have translated into you becoming an author.
Ah, yes.
Shameless plug.
Oh.
She's an author. You've written now 4 books.
Mm-hmm.
The 4th book is on the way.
Yes, I have the 4th book in my hands, and I'm in the process of starting a 5th one about therapy dogs and teddy bears.
News to me.
And, yeah.
So, okay, hold on a second. So the first book is The Child Who Changed the World.
Yes.
Which is a pay it forward type of situation.
Yes.
Where it's one good deed leads to another good deed, leads to another good deed.
And that's a picture book. I didn't do the illustrations or anything. I just thought, we need this book.
And then you started the highly acclaimed Teddy Bear Chronicles. If I'm an icon of streaming, you can be a highly acclaimed author. You can by me. And they're like, I don't know if you call them even young adult, but they're not even that.
8 to 12 to 14, somewhere in there. But I have a lot of senior citizens who like them too. So
which I would say is kind of a marriage of your stories of being someone who goes with therapy dogs to places, and then also teddy bears coming to life and trying to do good things, kind of Toy Story-esque.
We have a lot of teddy bears.
Yeah, she's a big teddy bear fan. So basically, what we're finding out here is that you're like the best person, and now everybody else is going to know it too.
No.
Yeah, you train therapy dogs, you write books about making the world a better place, and then you write about those stories again, like, to share them with other people, to inspire hope.
Thank you.
It's true.
You know what he didn't mention about my books is there's a ghost in the book.
Have
you talked about that?
No, I've not talked about the ghost, because I think the ghost is just another... See, I want to tease the people. I want them to buy the book, and then they can learn about the ghost.
Because we have a ghost in the house.
Yes, but if they know too much, then they're not going to want to buy the book.
It's true.
I want it to tease. See how much stuff is in there? Hope, living teddy bears, a ghost. Maybe I am briefly mentioned in one of them.
Oh, you are in the books. Yeah.
I'm briefly.
No, you are.
And the disappointment living down the hall. No, it's kidding. That would be so funny. Oh my gosh.
He's not a disappointment.
Thank you. That's just
not at all.
Thanks, Ma. Thanks. She has to say that.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Nobody pays me to do that.
That's true. No one did. I'm just the one. We're just looking for that hypothetical wife at this point. Once the grandkids show up, then I can scoot. Mom's like, perfect. Grandbabies. Doting on them. Oh my gosh. Which reminds me about the video game thing. I remember for a few Christmases, Santa stopped coming to the house to the same extent. And she would ask me, she'd just be like, well, what do you want for Christmas? And so I started like writing the names and putting a picture on a piece of paper. And then I would just be like, I'd give it to her. I'd be like, here you go. Because like video games get confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And nowadays people just do gift cards.
Not me.
No.
I love Christmas. Christmas is like...
Your favorite.
Halloween decorations. We live in the Halloween capital of the world. So the Halloween decorations go down in the basement. The Christmas trees come up. So on
November 1st.
November 1st, yeah.
Why do you love Christmas so much?
It's just such a beautiful time with the lights and the smells and just all the goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
But we would do now. Santa still comes, but Santa has learned about Amazon, so their wish lists go onto Amazon.
I see. We're very grateful for Santa. The best thing, though, is you. Getting to hang out with you and the family every year. The older I get, the more I realize that. I'm like, oh, the family. Even though they drive me nuts sometimes. I love you guys, but Katie, come on. I hope she's watching this. She'll be like, how rude. She'll be like, how dare. I'll be like, truth. I give her a hard time. That's what you do with a twin sister who's a minute younger. We're talking about me, though, too much. This is not good. Okay, so we've gotten through pretty much all the questions. I want to just kind of start to wrap up here. You've been watching Star Wars.
Yeah.
You started with Episode 1.
We did.
Episode 2, Episode 3. You watched Rogue One because Solo wasn't on Disney+. You didn't go to Netflix. You watched Episode 4. You're on to Episode 5. You have thoughts on them. Like, pretty straightforward, cutting thoughts. What are they?
Well, 4, 5, and 6, of course, were coming out when I was younger and didn't know better. And I can remember at the end of a Star Wars episode, and you just be so let down, excited, but just like, oh, now I have to wait for the next one to come out. Well, after watching episode 4, the acting was not what I remembered. And I'm a Harrison Ford junkie. I love Harrison Ford for whatever reason. I think he's amazing. He did pretty well. But like Carrie Fisher, rest in peace, Carrie. Yeah, she started out with this accent, and then that went away. I thought, what? She's got an accent? She was being all regal and kind of British or something. Yeah. And then half an hour into the film, it was gone.
It was a trap. She was trying to trick them into thinking that she wasn't as smart, maybe. Maybe it was a ploy, or maybe they said ditch the accent, Carrie. I don't know. I'm sure it was a direction though, because they usually shoot these things out of order. Because we would have had her be British at the end of the movie or something too, and you'd be like, what? What is she doing? I don't know. You're right. It is jarring, because later on she's just like, yeah, get out of here. And nerf her or whatever. Later on, like she's.
But they're still for their time, because they started in the 70s, right?
Yep, 70s. Mid-70s and up through the mid-80s.
It was, for those of us going to the theater, which I still love, even though we're not going. But it was just mind-boggling that they could come up with these ideas and the technology and the imagination. And, of course, loving Disney as I do, it was kind of Disney-esque that they had. I'm losing my voice because it's so hot in here.
You're doing great. You're doing great. Don't think about it. Just keep going. You're doing great.
If I start panting and fading.
You're fine.
Anyway, yeah. So I really am enjoying them. So then we'll go on to 7, 8, 9.
Who's your favorite character so far?
Han Solo.
Oh. Even though the acting? You like him?
I don't care. It's Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford gets fast. Who's your least favorite?
I know everyone would think Jar Jar Binks, but
whoa,
I kind of like him. I don't think good. I have a maybe Jabba the Hutt because he's so disgusting.
Okay, did you know that Jar Jar Binks was supposed to be the main bad guy? Potentially, he was going to be like Yoda, so from like the original trilogy. You were going to find this creature on the side of the road, as it were, and eventually over time you were going to find out that Jar Jar Binks was pulling the strings the whole time. Maybe. It was a thought they had, but then people hated Jar Jar, so they pulled back on that. Would you have been okay with Jar Jar if you had been like, Misa Jar Jar Binks, now feel the pain and hatred of 1,000 years?
No, he just,
That would have been so cool. He does like a super jump flip into the water. He jumps like 30 feet in the air. Is that not weird?
It was. Everything he does is weird to me.
But would you have been okay with evil Jar Jar? Darth Jar Jar? Darth Binks? Misa gonna love your suffering.
I don't know. I like to know my evil characters by looking at them.
Oh, judging those books by the cover.
Yeah.
So I can't wait till you meet Kylo Ren. Oh, you've seen Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
You know what happens in 7.
Yeah.
People are like, she loves Harrison Ford. I remember seeing that movie in theaters with you, and I hadn't seen it before, and they both walk out on that bridge, and I leaned over and I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I knew it. I was like, he's not walking off this bridge. I was like, Harrison was like, kill me, please. He wanted out. You know, he wanted to die, right? In Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah. He did.
What was going on? Were you going to say something about that?
Also, flying airplanes, evidently.
Oh my gosh. You say you don't know things. You said that thing about Jar Jar Binks that everybody, like, you know that. And Harrison, I get scared when I fly into John Wayne. Yeah. I'm like, where's Harrison?
He's out there somewhere.
I like people. One of the jokes of my favorite podcast is if you had to take away his earring or his pilot's license, which do you think would be harder? I wouldn't do either, Harrison. You live your life, but do you like the earring?
I'm not going to judge.
Did you like 6 Days, 7 Nights where they're already making jokes about his age?
Yeah. I like that movie. That was a good movie. Yeah.
They couple swap.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, that's
David Schwimmer.
Yeah. It was kind of weird.
Wild.
Yeah.
It was a weird movie. Okay. So far, Han Solo, top, Jabba, lowest.
Yeah.
Okay. Where does Darth Vader stack? And remember, I have him there. You can see the 2 posters over there. I have a Darth Vader shrine corner going on.
You do. He's kind of a good evil guy. Once again, why does he have an accent with the hood on?
What accent? It's not an accent. It's just like changes his voice because he's got the modulators and stuff.
Okay.
He's burned on the side of a lava river.
I know, I saw that.
We're lucky he's even talking.
But that's true. But it's such a different voice.
Well, okay, that's true. So originally when they shot it, they had the guy who was in the costumes talking, and it was weird and maybe slightly Scottish.
Oh.
And it sounds real bad. And then they got James Earl Jones to do it, and they're like, and I can see where Anakin Skywalker doesn't look like a James Earl Jones when you look at him. You know, like you'd sound like him if you got in a robot suit.
Yeah.
Did you like Anakin's story?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
It explains a lot.
Do you like, by the way, which acting do you think is better or worse? Original trilogy, newer trilogy? I mean, or the prequel trilogy that you've seen so far?
Prequel, or like 1, 2, 3 versus 4, 5. Oh, 1, 2, 3. I have mixed reviews on that because I think that the actors have the potential of being amazing, but sometimes they seemed kind of constrained.
In which one?
1, 2, 3.
Okay. Gotcha.
Not 4, 5, 6. They're like doing their thing.
Do you like that Anakin killed all those people after they killed his mom?
As he should have.
I was going to say, I totally understand that anytime that happens in a movie. Did you ever see...
That.
You never saw Captain America Civil War, did you?
No.
Okay.
Did I?
There's a story beat in there where Iron Man kind of goes crazy because he finds out someone killed his mom, and he throws away all of his morals for a moment. And I was like, I get that. I was like, yeah, I understand.
No, that was horrible that he did that. The little ones.
Yeah, well, they had to go. Anyway, I remember seeing Rogue One with you in theaters, and you will eat a lot of popcorn. You'll eat your original bag of popcorn before the show starts. Usually, I'll go get another one, and then you usually pass out. And we're watching Star Wars Rogue One, and I kind of wake her up a few times. And then there's a moment at the end where there's a ton of TIE fighters that come out, and you leaned over next to me, and you're like, I don't think they got enough TIE fighters. It's like, when you throw shade at a movie like that, I think it's very funny.
I do fall asleep in theaters. I don't get enough sleep, evidently.
You don't get enough sleep.
Yeah.
It's very worrisome.
I have much to do.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I stay up too late, just wondering. I'm like, staring into the void. Yes. Before we wrap up here, favorite movie of all time?
This is going to be so disappointing. You've Got Mail. I love Tom Hanks. I love Meg Ryan. You've Got Mail.
Oh, even though it's dated, it's still your favorite. Like there's a moment in that movie where they're instant messaging each other, and it is like they both are like they're both on at the same time.
I know.
They found each other in a chat room, and
Yeah.
and they fell in love, even though he was going to destroy her bookstore, but he doesn't.
Fox Books.
And he's got a golden retriever.
He does.
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
So that's your favorite movie of all time. Any favorite sci-fi action or any? I was kind of hoping for something.
Yeah, I know. That's such a disappointment.
That's fine. No, it's okay.
If you
it's your
of
favorite
that
movie.
genre,
It's got a great soundtrack too.
it does.
It's or really good. Yeah, there's really good songs on it.
Really good songs.
Really fun songs.
I don't know. I don't know. I go back and forth between C.S. Lewis and Tolkien with the books and movies. So I love them all.
Okay. You love them all. You with the books and movies, but I remember you seeing Reapy Cheap go away in one of the last Chronicles of Narnia movie, and he goes up and over like the little water, and you're
what
like,
was that?
you're like, bye bye Reapy Cheap, bye bye.
That was so I wouldn't cry in front of you.
Yeah, no, that's so. But Lord of the Rings or Chronicles of Narnia, they're very different.
They're very different. I think Chronicles of Narnia is not quite as violent. There's some violence, but it's not
as violent. They don't show as much.
So yeah, maybe that.
Chronicles of Narnia.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I love Tolkien. I still can't read the Silmarillion. I've tried.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough stuff. I know. I have a copy of it. I want to read through those books. It's so hard. It's so hard.
Yeah, and life's too short to work at a book like that.
Oh, look at that. This comes from an author over here. Mm-hmm. I wonder if Tolkien would like these movies. Hopefully.
I hope so. It's just like Walt Disney. Would he like Disney World?
I don't know.
think so.
Also, I keep remembering he died before, again, Star Wars was even out. So as a timeline thing, I always put Star Wars as like a moment because I was 77. And it's like 2 years before that Space Mountain, but like he wouldn't even know what that is. Mm-hmm. I wonder if he would have liked that. He probably would have been like, this is amazing. Wow, our movies need to be like this.
He would have loved it. I think he embraced everything that was new and creative. Yeah.
He would have been like, our live action movies need to be like this if we're going to do anything like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good books out about Walt Disney that are just very informative and kind of heart-wrenching, the things he went through.
Yeah, went through a lot. A lot of people try to speak for him, and I'm not going to, even though I just kind of did. He'd speak for himself. That's what I say. A lot of people be like, well, what would Walt want? I'm like, well...
Didn't they freeze his brain somewhere?
No, they had the frozen head theory. Even if he were to not have suffered from cancer, he would not have lived to this age.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Epcot would be... I would love to bring him back. We've talked about this. We bring him back for like a day. Like change your life up for a day and walk around with him for like a week or something.
That'd be great.
But I think he'd be kind of frustrated with Epcot.
I think he'd be frustrated with the prices that Disney is charging.
Maybe.
Because he originally designed the whole thing so that dads and moms could be with their kids.
Yeah.
And people have been priced out.
Yeah.
So
he'd bring the prices down. He'd make everybody dress a certain way. He'd be like, if you want to come into my park, it's a nice establishment. He'd be like, no. You need to kind of dress up a little bit because he didn't want it to be.
Yeah, he did not. He wanted, yeah. He was refined.
But back in that day, everybody was. Maybe he would have changed at times.
Yeah, people... when you'd go on an airplane, you'd dress up.
Yeah, you wear like a dress or a suit, and you have a parasol if it was sunny. Like
it was
different times.
Different times.
It was cool though.
It was
sad times though too. Sad times. No more Waltz. I'm sorry, Waltz, but your legacy lives on, and now you own a thing. It'd be great. You brought him back, and you're like, "Do you know what Star Wars is?" You'd be like, "No." I'd be like, "You own Star Wars." He'd be like, "Okay."
Okay, show me.
Like, show me. He'd be like, "Oh,
let me ride it."
Yeah, I think he would.
He'd
probably think these new rides are pretty nuts. He'd be like, "Wow!" Like
he would love it.
Yeah, it'd blow his brain.
He would.
He'd be crazy.
Yeah, when you think of some of the movies he made, he wasn't afraid of scary things at all.
No, 20,000 Leagues and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or even Fantasia. There's some really scary stuff.
Oh yeah, just covered some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Chernobog, Night on Bald Mountain, but then it ends with Ave Maria. Yeah. There is some weird stuff in that I think should probably... I'm surprised they didn't censor it, but... I'm just saying Disney. If I called it out on Twitter, I think people... Disney would be like, oh no, I'm sorry. You just do it. I love Disney.
We do not question Disney.
I'm a corporate shill for them, but I've not got any paychecks. So one day maybe.
Have all of these people
Mandalorian
seen
on Disney Plus.
Your fifth park?
I think so. Most of the people who are watching this probably have. There's a lot of overlap. The 20 people who watch this probably watch that.
Oh, so cool. I want to go.
Thank you.
I want to go. It's really
Disney,
cool.
call me. That'd be great.
Yeah.
You know what? Take all the ideas. Just let me be the Stacy of that park.
Mm-hmm.
Let me walk around it. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's Chernobog's Gauntlet. Like created by a very young and intelligent man. And then it'd just be like a picture of me. Like, least favorite Disney ride?
Well... They're all amazing.
We can't question Disney.
And
What's your least favorite?
You can't. I guess because I get sick sometimes on rides. It would be one that made me sick. But I still love the rides. So I don't have anything that I hate. Oh, Tiki Room.
What?
I'm sorry. It went back to the original.
Yeah, which, don't you like the original? Did you like Under New Management?
No.
Okay.
I just don't like it.
You just don't like sitting in the cold?
Tiki.
Is it the song?
I don't know, maybe.
There's a really fascinating documentary on the guys who wrote that song. The Sherman Brothers.
Yeah.
It's called The Boys. It
Yeah.
came out a few years ago, but it's just on Disney Plus now. They did not like each other super much. Yeah, they did not get along. And they were actual brothers. It's really sad, kind of.
What happens?
Yeah, that happens. They wrote a lot of songs. They wrote that, One Little Spark, Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow, It's a Small World. They're legends. But so Tiki Room, not really a ride, but I guess I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
How about Primeval Whirl? Would you do that one? Spinning you around and going down the drops?
Well, I want to, but I get sick. I want to do it all.
I like that ride, even though it's kind of very like it's just a fair ride.
Every 10 years I make myself go on Space Mountain or...
What? When?
I've been on Space Mountain twice.
Every 10 years, so since
maybe like 30 to 20 years.
Since the 70s, you've been on it. I was like, wait, you never ride it with me. You're always like, go on.
Yeah. But I get sick, so...
I get it.
Yeah. Tower of Terror, I get sick.
You've never gone on Expedition Everest for fear of getting sick.
No, I want to so bad. But you don't want to ruin your day.
Just do it at the end of the night.
Maybe.
Do an after hours. Would you do an after hours event?
Maybe.
Would you do that? I don't know if you would.
Maybe.
Okay. Do you do Thunder Mountain anymore? Big Thunder?
Yeah, once, not twice. We used to go twice. we'd close park down, and then we'd come in, and they'd say, "Do you want to go again? We don't have anybody waiting." And I did that once, and by the end of the second ride, I was like,
Oh, I want to do that
please.
so badly.
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion or Pirates of the Caribbean?
Favorite or worst?
Favorite.
Oh. Pirates.
Why? Correct answer, by the way.
Because there's not dead dogs.
That's not a dead dog. It's not. There's like 2 of them, but they're not dead.
Almost.
They're scared because
They're
we're ghosts. She's like, they need to eat
like
more.
Yeah.
They need more food.
They need more food.
Okay, but do you like Haunted Mansion at all?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Do you ever ride it anymore?
Yeah.
Okay, not your thing though. I don't blame you. Jungle Cruise. Tell them what happened when I was a child.
Oh my gosh.
I need someone to tell this. I didn't pay her to say this.
We were on the Jungle Cruise, and the person driving the boat kind of made a joke or something or asked a question, and Jimmy'd been on it so many times that he gave the Disney answer to it. And they said, half joking, but not really, would you like to come up to the microphone and do this? And he said, yeah. So he went up there and did the whole thing, and he has ownership to... You do.
Okay.
We were going into the cave area.
The temple.
And he said the line about denial. What did you say?
I did?
You
really?
did, yes.
I don't.
You did.
I thought it was the Shirley Temple joke.
What was that? Oh, what?
Was it? I came up with the denial joke. You'd be
Yes.
in denial. I don't know.
What was the Shirley Temple joke?
But no, it's that joke. I've tried to piece it together in my mind, and it doesn't make sense. My Shirley Temple joke, the denial joke. That can't be me.
No, it was you, because you said something about that.
Maybe it was that skipper's first day, and they didn't know the joke.
Maybe because the skipper.
Because I knew that.
That's amazing. I'm going to use that from now on. That's all it takes. But you said that.
Really, I didn't do the show. I was a skipper. Like I got to the boat. I wasn't on the mic.
You did have some of the mic.
I had some of the mic?
Things, yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, because
we didn't videotape this.
You knew the whole spiel, the back of water. And
that's my dream, is to do that one day.
yeah, and then sometime we should tell them about Alice and the tea party.
Oh, we'll just do it now. Is it
okay
let's
to do this?
Quick version. Yeah, it's fine. And this is totally accurate. No, this will come back to bite me. No, I want to know. You won't do it. I retracted it.
Yeah.
We'll just leave the Alice story as a nice little thing to think about in the future. And that way, if I ever become famous and this ever does come back to haunt me, people can ask me about it, and I'll be very honest.
Yes.
But yes, let's just say that I was too smart for my own good, as I often am. I've become more wise, though. She's like, sure you have, sweetie. This is where that future hypothetical wife would be like, yeah, sure.
Well, whatever he said, the Mad Hatter, who was at the table with us, looked at Jimmy and said, I don't think so.
I think I made all of their days, because they probably never heard a child say what I said. Because I was a smart kid. See? Look at. I will give you a little like glimpse into the past. When I was a kid, we went to this place called Mammoth Caves in Tennessee. Was it Tennessee?
Not
Kentucky?
sure where it was.
Somewhere on the way to Disney. And we were there, and they were asking questions at the very end, and my family didn't realize I raised my hand, and had asked a question about Mammoth Cave.
You were 4 or 5, maybe?
Yeah, and I was really into dinosaurs and things of that ilk, and I said, yes, what do the mammoths eat? Thinking that mammoths really lived here, because I was excited, because as we went down further into the cave, we're going to see real live mammoths. No,
Poor baby.
It was just a big cave.
And everybody laughed, and of course the mommy heart was like, oh, honey.
And that's where a supervillain was born. I think I was like, you laugh at me, you troglodytes. Like, I know more words than you'll ever know.
I didn't laugh.
No, at that moment I was like, okay, I understand.
Very sweet.
I learned that things can mean multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was probably crestfallen. Did I cry?
No, but you were very quiet.
I was probably like,
very unusual.
oh yes.
Yeah.
I'm much of a talker.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll serve me well in the acting biz.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay. We'll use that in the story one day. People will be like, oh yeah, that's from his childhood. My memoirs, people will be like, oh my gosh, that was the Alice thing. When I'm like 70, I'll write it in a book, and they'll be like, wow, how does he remember this? How old was I with the Alice thing?
4 or 5.
Okay, good. Well, that's what we can wrap it up there.
Okay.
You've done so great.
Thank you.
I will link your books and stuff so people can check that out if they want to. Again, shameless plug, just because You know, I love you. But, and thank you for being so supportive. I wouldn't be the person I am today without you.
I wouldn't be the person today that I am without you.
Ah, how dare you. No. It's my favorite.
True.
It's my favorite. She's the only reason I exist
Well,
at
that's
all
true.
in this way.
I need him.
Yeah, that's a fact we do not let go of very often. But this will be a nice little memento to look back on. And you'll be like, I remember that day. It was sweltering. And why did I do it? And you'll be like, but this is nice.
It's like 110 degrees.
It is not that bad. I think it's because I've gone to some places recently where I take the heat. I can look at me. I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I love it. Get the lights on me. I'm just afraid of a script. I just gotta learn words. I'll be fine. I gotta learn it. I just gotta learn how to write. Anywho, any final closing thoughts, questions, feelings, favorite things, least favorite things, anything else you want to tell the people who watch this?
Thanks for watching.
Thank
because he loves doing this.
I do.
It's exhausting for him. Sometimes he'll come out and he'll just be exhausted.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but he loves it. So thanks for watching.
Yeah, I'm lucky that anybody watches. We have a small group, and I've been doing this for like 5 years. Most people I've noticed on YouTube, like within 2 years, have they fly, they just take off. I just have no organization. I'm just like, I want to talk about video games. Like, I want to talk about theme parks. So it's like, if you had a dedicated channel, people would be. But the people we've gotten are people who are like me. And I love them. I love you guys.
Eclectic. That's good.
Yes, a great mix of good people. And we actually had a conversation the other day that didn't break out into toxicity. It was great. People were saying things they didn't like about the other games that I loved and vice versa. And it was great. We didn't weren't warranting death threats or anything.
Good.
It's common on the internet.
Well, in this day and age, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Keep it up.
Keep it up. Hope lives. Any last things? Anything you want to say? You good? Thank you for being on. Oh, what were we going to say?
I'm hot.
Well, that's presumptuous, isn't it? I didn't say it. She did. Anyway, thank you all for joining us. As we alluded to earlier, we have Patreon, all that stuff. Thank you to everybody who's donating over there or donating their time on our Twitch streams or YouTube. I appreciate that. You don't have to do that, but I thank you all the same. And yeah, if you ever want to see her back on the show, let me know, because maybe I could coax her into doing it again if it weren't 110 degrees or whatever it is.
He knows where I live. Well, I'll bring Lily or Ranger with me.
They won't last. They'll get like 5 minutes into a stream and then they'll leave.
They would last with me.
No, they're like, and then they like get right in your face and they're like, even in the winter, they're like, I'm out.
Yeah, that's hot.
Did you watch the Disney or the Jurassic Park video I did with Lily? That took forever. I just got her in the booth and she kept going. She's like, Jimmy. She's like, I need to go. She's like, there's only the little paw.
Just the golden retriever thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. And thank you, everybody. Until next time, just remember to adapt and overcome. Bye-bye. There we go. We're done.
Okay.
All right. You ready to start?
Start with.
That was the run through.
No.
We do a run through, and then I wanted to get you. I didn't get you at all though.